Hey guys, it's Katrina from Daily Astrology, and today is April 16th. So, I've gotten a lot of messages over these last couple days with people saying the same thing. Either they're crying a lot and they just feel really sad, or they're really angry, like anger and sadness. Okay, so I wanted to look to see what's kind of going on with that. But also, if you look at the chart, there's a lot of positive things that are just flowing together. There are things that are working to your benefit, to our benefit right now, that are like synchronistically aligning. Okay, but there's also, this big fountain of tension looking at the sun. So it's like us personally, we are experiencing this stress. We are experiencing this challenge. It's looking at how we experience. How do we process it? What do we do with it? What do we do when there's all this stress on from the outside world coming in? How do we handle change? How do we handle Okay, so it's like looking at our sun, and the sun in Aries is like, how do you take in this uh obstacles, these challenges, this resistance of your freedom? Yeah, because Aries energy is about freedom. Freedom to experience your desires, freedom to experience. It's like freedom to experience your soul's desires, self-actualization, self-realization, like being able to actualize who you are. Okay, so there's this pressure on us, and it's like, how do you take in this pressure that's preventing your ability to physically go after these things that your soul desires to experience? And the sun in Aries is also bringing attention to, this is who I am. This is my self-identity. This is how I identify with myself. This is how I present myself. Okay. And so it's bringing up the pressure of the outside world and society's influence on you and how you express yourself and your ability to like go on the right path and like really be your true authentic self. And with Chiron and Lilith and Mercury, it's bringing up these experiences and possibly something about how your mind interprets these experiences that you have gone through. And it's like in a place where it's like, it's rejection, or I'm being done wrong, or this is unfair. Like so yes, it is looking at these experiences that you have had that have wounded you, that have wounded your physical ability, your identity, like how you identify with yourself and how you feel about yourself. Or, maybe parts of you that's like, that's not really you. You're not allowing your authentic self to be expressed. So it's looking at the conditioning and the influence of the outside world and its effects that it has had. It's repressing your true ability to physically move towards these things that and it's not only physically move towards these things that because now Saturn is in Aquarius. And so it's really looking at us going after these things. It's like, this is what you really want. This is what you really desire. It's not these little conditioned desires like, oh, you thought this was important because you were brainwashed, because you were conditioned by society to tell you that was important, but it wasn't your path. It wasn't really going to fulfill you. So there's something about us going towards a path that is going to be more fulfillment, higher fulfillment. And it has something to do with going towards these things that our soul really wants. It's like, this is who you are. This is what you are meant to do with your time here. So there's this having to break out of the conditioning in order to be more free. So it's looking at the ways that our mind has handled these experiences, the ways that we mentally interpret these experiences of things being unfair, where we have been done wrong, where we have been rejected, where we have been abandoned, where we feel like we're bad, where we, shame and guilt and inadequacy. And I'm not achieving enough, because there's all that conditioning of society and how it's affected us, how it's affected the path we go in life. It's like, oh, do I belong? Do I fit in? Am I doing it right? And all the parts of us where we're not doing it right in society's eyes. You know, it's like, oh, that has been repressed, these parts. And it's like, that's your truth. That's who you really are. So there's all this going on of bringing up what has been repressed. There's all this energy behind our experiences of rejection and things being unfair and being judged and feeling done wrong, feeling like we're getting the bad hand. But it's not just feeling, it's like, yeah, these things have happened. These things have happened to you, but what did you do when they happened? There's something, it's wanting to break free of what you did when these things happen, when you experience these shitty things. What did you do? There's something about what we did with it that is trying to break. It's like, okay, now you need to free yourself from that. You need to free yourself. And in Aries, it's around our physical ability to move. So it's something about like, what do? We allowed it to hold us back. What we formed opinions, or we molded how we present ourselves to the world. So it's like what we did was we fragmented ourselves. We hid parts of ourselves. We held ourselves back. And it's looking at your son. Your son is like, this is how you were made to express yourself. This is how you were made to shine. So there's something about what we did in these situations is we're allowing it to hold back our true physical abilities, hold back who we really are, and really, present ourselves in an authentic way. But also it's like something about our power. So another thing that's really important going on is the sun is squaring Jupiter, and the sun also had just squared Pluto. And so the sun square Pluto has a lot to do with the ego death. It's wanting to break you down in order for you to, Aries energy is about something new, a new experience, a new path, and it's more aligned with a deeper truth. And so the Pluto energy is like a lot of times things that we think we need that we're overly identifying with. And it's like, no, this, especially in Aries energy is about freedom, our ability to experience freedom. And this Pluto energy is saying, you think you need this, but this is not allowing you to be free. And so there's things that society has conditioned on us that it's saying, as long as you think you need that, you will not be free. And so it's trying to break us down from these things that we think we need in order to realize that we don't need it, or maybe it's that it's not truly valuable to us. Because there's also that, Uranus and Taurus is going to be helping us to realign with these higher values, because that brings more meaning. This is all about finding more meaning in our life. This is a time where we are breaking free of these things that were not our true desires, lower desires. They were not going to fulfill us. So this is about like finding more meaning, purpose, fulfillment in life. And there's a lot of breaking free that is going to get us there, to get us to rediscover what's truly important, what's real, and this is also about deeper parts of ourselves and what really makes us happy. And right now with the nodes, with the North Node and the South Node beginning to switch, this is a really important time with the North Node in Cancer and the South Node in Capricorn, wanting to help us move through these ways that have been repressed, these repressed emotions like shame and guilt and frustration and feeling like you're not enough or, inadequate. There's all these heavy emotions that we are processing, or these ways that you have been held back. Okay, it's wanting us to release these ways that we have been held back and these emotions that we were not processing. A lot of the guilt and the shame and depression, lack, pessimism. The North Node in Cancer is bringing up, like, this is about emotional maturity. This is about handling our emotions. understanding who we really are, re-identifying with who we are and how it affects how we feel about ourselves. So right now, if there's this big push, like this is for your happiness, this is time for you to realign your life with what's truly going to make you happy, understanding you don't need to repress those emotions. Okay, these things do not need to be repressed. This is a time of healing these things, because this is going to make you feel lighter. This is going to make you feel better. This is a process of understanding how to handle our feelings, how to handle our emotions, so we don't need to repress them. So that whole energy of freedom right now is also about freeing ourselves from these emotions. It's like they're blocking us. They're blocking our physical ability. They're affecting our health. They're affecting how we feel about ourselves. So there's something about that as well. There's this re-identifying with how you present yourself, how you feel about yourself, and the path that your life takes. This is a time of understanding how to find happiness, how to move to center. It's like you don't need to repress it. You need to understand how to process it, how to heal it. So, Jupiter squaring the sun. Jupiter is bringing up our attitudes, our beliefs, our perceptions, the filter that we're viewing life from. Okay. And so, I was saying, what did you do when these situations happen? When you experienced abandonment, when you experienced rejection, when you experienced these things that have been unfair and, where you felt bad, or these parts of you that you were told, to me, I feel this heavy, like shame energy that through this, oh, you're bad, or, Lilith brings up that energy of where we've been told we're bad. Chiron, it's like, oh, it's the rejection and, abandonment and unfair judgment, unfair treatment. So there's something about those experiences in your life. Okay, but there's also, so Lilith also has to do with these experiences and how they've been repressed. Okay, so we're dealing with some very repressed energy that is coming up from these experiences and how we've processed them. And it's like, this is allowing for more freedom. We're freeing ourselves from these ways, from these wounded experiences and how we didn't process them, the traumas. Okay, so Sun Jupiter square, it's saying something needs to shift within your beliefs, within your filter. How you handled those experiences, you formed beliefs, you formed attitudes, you formed a certain way that you see things, and that has to change. So now there's pressure. So before it was about our ego, it was about things that we, attached to, that we felt like we needed. And now it's looking at our beliefs, our attitudes, the filter that we're viewing things from. And it's saying, you need to shift this. This needs to change. So it's trying to reveal itself to you. It's getting louder. Jupiter always makes things bigger. And it's saying, discomfort is showing you where something needs to change. And right now it's saying you need to change your filter. You need to change how you're seeing this. And it's a pressure. It's not asking. It's pushing. It's forcing. All right, guys. Hopefully this helps. Take care.